Was there a need for Umkhonto We Sizwe Military Veterans Council to meet? And why does the MK Veterans Council want the constitution of the ANC reviewed? What does the council make of the support from President Jacob Zuma? And does the Veterans Council recognize the MKVA and its chairperson KB Mapatwe? What time is it? It's question time. Welcome to the show. My name is Umkhonto. Throughout its years of existence, Umkhonto We Sizwe has had a fair share of challenges with its armed struggle against the erstwhile Apartheid Regime. A year after its formation in 1961, MK's commander-in-chief, the late former President Nelson Mandela, was arrested in Howick in the then Natal Province in 1962. This and the Rivonia Trial convictions of 1964 did not deter the MK, though, with its combatants having continued to pose a serious challenge to the white regime over the years until it suspended the armed struggle in 1990. All has not been well, though, with apparent tensions within the military wing having become a cause for concern. In reaction to this state of affairs, MK Stalwarts met over the weekend to discuss ways to restore unity within the organization. The veterans will meet the ANC leadership next year to discuss their resolutions. We are live, and therefore you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-1104210. Our Twitter handle at question time 24. My guest, Thabang Makwetla, is a former member of Umkhonto We Sizwe and serves in the MK Veterans Council. Dear, welcome to question time.
Thank you very much for having us.
Typical soldier, you don't go on leave, right? But let's firstly check. Indeed, was there a need for the council to convene?
There was actually an urgent need. And I must say that we're happy that we had a successful, all-inclusive, council of former members of Umkhonto We Sizwe over the weekend. Yeah. As we have said, what occasioned the initiative is the realization that we can no longer sit back and expect the leadership of the organization to manage all of these challenges by themselves. Where we can be relevant to helping minimize problems for the organization, we feel very strongly that unless history judges us badly, we have to come in. And in relation to MKVA, it was very obvious, and it was to be expected that the current, challenges that are there around MKVA were bound to occur, because MKVA was established as an association of former members of Umkhonto We Sizwe that would be responsible for their welfare under the Secretary General's office. Full stop. That was the mandate conference assigned this structure. But as you are aware that there are political reactions within the movement broadly, let me put it that way, which have tempted MKVA to enter the fray to try and put a view that in their opinion would help to deal with the challenges that are there. Unfortunately, the views that have been coming from the leadership of MKVA, because they were not necessarily canvassed views, are not mandated, they don't benefit from the broad community of former members of Umkhonto We Sizwe, they are unfortunately erroneous. And we felt that it was important that we convene that council of everybody, not just only those who are participants in the structures of MKVA, because there are many others who are not former members of Umkhonto We Sizwe, who are not members of MKVA, who are not participating in those structures, who are not so much attracted to those efforts that are supposed to be organized for within MKVA to address the welfare of members, either because individuals are able to, to look after themselves in life, they are okay,
yes,
and therefore not participants in MKMVA. We need, where it involves political interventions of Umkhonto We Sizwe on any matter, obviously a consultation broader than the structures of MKMVA.
Now, the question that arose was, there is MKMVA. Why isn't Spiwenyanda, Tabang Makwetla, and others, why are they not channeling their grievances through MKMVA? Because what is happening, it's basically to say, Kebi does not represent us.
Well, MKMVA is an official structure established for MK members to look after their welfare. Whether it was necessarily going to be, the best approach to get MKMVA to organize for this kind of council, it's for me neither here nor there. For as long as there was agreement, it was unfortunate that before council went into session, we did not have the desired interfacing and discussion with the MKMVA. It could be that in that discussion they would have agreed that no, let's proceed and organize for this council in the manner in which you are going for it, or we can take over responsibility for this. And for us, it would actually have been even much better, because then they would use whatever resources that they have from their own structure to sponsor this kind of gathering. So really the point was to get the entire community of former members of Umkhonto We Sizwe the best way possible.
I'll get to the resolutions from that council. What did you make of the message of support from President Zuma?
The message of support from the president of the ANC, it's something that naturally was to be expected, and that's why we approached him. Because he is himself a senior member of Umkhonto We Sizwe.
Correct.
And when we articulated the challenge that I've just referred to earlier on to him, he felt that what we were raising and the observations that we have made were very much spot on, and he felt that we should indeed get all former members of Umkhonto We Sizwe under one roof and go into discussions constructively of seeing how best Umkhonto We Sizwe can assist the ANC in dealing with the challenges we are confronting, today.
Roy, you are in Gauteng. Welcome.
How are you, Mpo?
I'm well. Thanks for the call, Roy.
I'm fine.
Yes.
Mpo, I just want to direct one question to Mr. Tabang.
Yes.
I don't want to get into much of the political squabbles between the so-called Consent and the MKVA. But I just want to ask him, I had a conversation today with one a military person who is still employed in the military services. He's saying the problems that are coming now between the two groups now, it's because of government not looking after the current forces, be it the soldiers, police, or the correctional services. I just want to ask him, does he think maybe it's a matter of understanding the social side of the military forces before their retirement? Maybe some of these things will be creeping in now on what we're seeing now between the two groups.
Okay, thanks very much.
Maybe, thank you, Mpo. Just to respond to the question, firstly, just to clarify the point that we are not a consent group. The people who were at Nasrec over the weekend are not a consent group. It was the entire community of former members, and most importantly, all generationally represented at that conference.
Yes, yes.
The second point that I also wanted to clarify is that we are not involved in any bickering between ourselves and Umkhonto We Sizwe Military Veterans Association. They have a mandate and an assignment to look after the welfare of MK members. Of course, we are aware that within those who are participants in the structures of MKMVA, there are indeed complaints about the extent to which accountability is done, or is realized, or there's the extent to which there is transparency in the manner in which the efforts to mobilize resources for their welfare are handled. Those are matters for members of MKMVA, those who are participants in MKMVA structures. They are well within their right to take up those issues, but they've got to take up those issues within MKMVA structures.
Okay.
Yes, welfare issues were raised at the council over the weekend. We cannot look away from that problem because MKMVA members, right from the beginning, we have struggled as an organization to look after their welfare. And it's a long story to make, if I were to refer to the many interventions that have happened over time to get resources to assist these members. Currently, we now have a Department of Military Veterans. There were a whole host of questions that were raised by members to say, why is it that this and that are still not happening in spite of our welfare now being a responsibility of the state, and the resources are there to address this responsibility. Okay. It's something which we will deal with going forward, and even at the next conference of the ANC, the mother body has to satisfy itself that those who are assigned the mandate and responsibility to look after the welfare of the organization, of course, MKMVA included, have they been doing their duties, performing their duties correctly?
Some good news from KZN here.
Yes, how are you, Mpo?
I'm well, thanks for the call.
I'm also wish you a Merry Christmas and brightest New Year.
Oh, angbong baba, angbonga cool.
Yes, Mpo.
Yes.
No, let me to my comrades there.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Comrades, veterans, many sessions in groups are wasting our time now because we are prepared to go for this conference. We have to do preparation in the branches. And thereafter, December next year, we have to go another election conference. All these things take time, but this sectionism for eldest people who come with too many groups, even they are joined by some people who are not even a member of the ANC. So they're wasting our time. We want to recorrect our organization, and we know if something went wrong, but we have to correct those wrong has been happened.
Okay, now good news. Are you saying that the council shouldn't have convened?
No, it's no time yet.
Okay.
It's no time, because when you're going to do a conference in the ANC, you must talk to the branches. The preparation there, it takes time, not 1 month.
Okay, good news. Thank you very much for that. Well, one of the resolutions that came out of NASREC is that you're going to work tirelessly for unity within the ANC and to fight factionalism. But what I also, what got my attention was you are committed to working within the structures of the ANC.
It is very important, actually, that you are picking up that point. Umkhonto We Sizwe was a military organization, the military wing of the ANC. If there were people who would have been exemplary during the liberation struggle in their conduct, discipline-wise, within the ANC ranks, it had to be, and it always was, members of Umkhonto We Sizwe, because they were belonging to a military establishment where discipline is very rigorous. For the fact that they were prepared to face the enemy on command of another individual to actually risk their own lives. It means they were people who were so selfless in their conduct. So the point is, we cannot today, as Umkhonto We Sizwe, behave in any other way. You see, even MKVA must be aware that it is the legacy that they've got to uphold.
Correct.
They can't be among groupings within the ANC that are conducting themselves in a way that is not useful, that is not assisting the leadership, political leadership of the ANC to manage the organization better. We are the last people to behave in an anarchic way because of our background and our legacy.
We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll be taking your calls, and I would like to hear from you, whether you were part of MK starting from the formation years, whether you were part of any detachment, Wankis, Polilo, Mkada, Madinoha, Young Lions, the June 16 detachment. Please, Bani Mulukwane detachment, please do give us a call. We'd like to hear from you. What are your thoughts? 089-1104-210. This is question time.
It's more than a gift, it's capturing summer magic. Get a Galaxy S7 for 499 Rand per month on Freeme 1 gig, plus your choice of a Gear VR or an accessory kit.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time, and indeed you can call us. The numbers to dial 089-1104-210. My guest today is Thabang Makwetla. He's a veteran of the Umkhonto We Sizwe military wing of the ANC. That is Jack. Is it Jack or Jeff here in Gauteng?
I am Jack.
Oh yes, Project. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm a regular on your show.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Paul, and all the best for 2017.
Thank you. Same to you there.
My question is to your panelist, and my question is very simple. Don't you think that what you're doing, guys, now is like a storm in cup of tea? Because all your resources have been exhausted by your own people in government, including number one. Thank you.
All righty. Okay. I don't know what resources, or is it the resources that are supposed to take care of the veterans?
Well, I don't know whether the caller is suggesting that to fight for a better life for former members of Umkhonto We Sizwe and the other veterans of the non-statutory forces, it's a lost cause because the country has no resources available. No, it's not actually true because, You know, when we got started with the Department of Military Veterans, for the first 2 years, there was actually no budget from Treasury.
I know that.
Yes, and we were just, we tried to make do with donations from the corporate, sector to assist those who were really, going through serious hardships, who could not look after themselves. But now, the department has, on average, a budget of about 500 million a year. And that's a lot of money. All what we need to do is to make sure that we optimize the utilization of those resources of that budget, but that there's also thrift on the part of the department. And to achieve that, of course, is that the department has to be a machinery that is well oiled and capacitated with individuals who are highly skilled as public servants in order to deliver these services and benefits.
Solo, you are in KZN. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Paul, and good afternoon, Comrade Tabang Makwetla.
Afternoon.
Yes, I got one problem. Whilst all contributions and means are welcome in terms of trying to correct whatever that might be wrong in the ANC, but this initiative has got all the hallmarks of being elitist. Most of the comrades deceased from participating actively in the branches of the ANC. And some of them, I think, I would suppose, undermined MKVA as a structure. If they have participated, they would have contributed constantly in the maintenance and the building of the ANC at all times. When it is convenient to people like Peter Maibuye, your Ronnie Casserols, they go astray and not participate. Now, I just wonder, what is it which militates all of them to come back full swing as they do? I would encourage comrades to continue participating in the structures of the ANC, because when they do like this, it becomes sectional. We miss your leadership in branches. We miss your leadership in MKMVA on a continuous basis.
Okay, Solo. Just a point to note there. Peter Maibuye, or otherwise Joel Nishtenje, as is known, is a member of the NEC.
He is a member of the ANC, unfortunately deployed in the TEC of KwaZulu-Natal. But he no longer attends, if I can say. He no longer attends, and you can cite quite a number of them.
Okay.
Your Ronnie Castros, in the previous national election, Ronnie Castros voted elsewhere.
Okay. Solo, thank you.
Recently, Mavuso Msimang encouraged comrades in parliament to vote for DA. Okay. How then do you take an advice from such a person?
All right, case? Solo, thank you very much for that point. Quickly, your response.
Well, just quickly, Mpho, let me first say that the observation that the initiative was or is elitist, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and it's actually taking things completely out of context. You know, firstly, the members of Umkhonto We Sizwe, who are predominantly the community that is out there in our country, are those who took demobilization, who were demobilized. But the caller should always remember that the main body of Umkhonto We Sizwe was integrated. Those who were disciplined members of Umkhonto We Sizwe largely are in the South African Defence Force as we speak today. They are officers, they are brigadier generals, they are even leading. Right at the top, you have a member of Umkhonto heading that defense establishment. But those who got, who took demobilization, who were demobilized, it is the reality of our struggle that they never got their way immediately into ANC structures upon their return from exile. And you had the organization, of course, establishing its presence inside the country structures, not necessarily with the participation and the leadership of the cadreship that was involved in its activities in exile. it relied on the energies that were there internally within our communities from the mass democratic movement. Because within that mass democratic movement, there were also ANC members who were working underground who never left the country. And it became convenient, of course, for the organization to move into the space that was created by its unbending, utilizing those who were here. So it left out many of Umkhonto We Sizwe members who got demobilized.
Can see you're now getting heated up now. Some political education class about to begin. Fortunately, we've run out of time. But yeah, that was Tabang Makwetla, and we're hoping to engage with them again in the coming year as we see or monitor what happens in the structures of MKVA and Umkhonto We Sizwe military veterans in general. That was question time for today. A big thank you to my guests and to you for watching the show. From me and the crew, you have yourself a wonderful time. Hi, Bekhotso.